unable to overcome doubts and suspicions regarding my intention. It continues to criticize me of nursing a hidden agenda of separatism, engaging in the Chinese counterparts were able to engage in a series of frank and extensive discussions during which they were able to explain each other's position. This kind of discussion, I hope, will help to clear the doubts and suspicions of the People's Republic, mutually acceptable solution to the issue of Tibet. More particularly, in the fifth round of talks held a few weeks ago, the two sides were able to clearly identify the areas of major differences and the reasons thereof. They were also able to get a sense of the conditions necessary for resolving the differences. In addition, my invoice reiterated my wish to visit China on a pilgrimage. As a country with a long history of Buddhism, China has many sacred pilgrim sites. As well as visiting the pilgrim sites, I hope to be able to see for myself the changes and developments in the People's Republic of China. Over the past decades, China has seen spectacular economic and social development. This is commendable. The Tibetan areas have likewise seen some infrastructural development, which I have always considered positive. Looking back at the past 5 decades of China's history, one sees that the country saw a great many movements based on the principles of Marxism-Leninism. That was during Mao's era. Then Deng Xiaoping, through seeking truth from facts, introduced socialist market economy and brought huge economic progress. Following this, based on his theory of the 3 represents, Jiang Zemin expanded the scope of the Communist Party of China to include not just the peasants and the workers, but also 3 other elements, namely the advanced protective forces, the progressive course of China's advanced culture, and the fundamental interests of the majority. Today, President Hu Jintao's theory of 3 harmonious envisages peaceful coexistence and harmony within China, as well as with neighbors and the international community. All these initiatives were undertaken in accordance with the changing times. As a result, the transition of political power and the development of the country have continued unabated. And today, China is emerging as one of the major powers in the world, which she deserves considering her long history and huge population. However, the fundamental issue that must be addressed is that, in tandem with the political power and economic development, China must also follow the modern trend in terms of developing a more open society, free press, and policy transparency. This, as every sensible person can see, is the foundation of genuine peace, harmony, and stability. Tibetans, as one of the larger groups of China's 55 minority nationalities, are distinct in terms of their land, history, language, culture, religion, customs, and traditions. This distinctiveness is not only clear to the world, but was also recognized by a number of senior Chinese leaders in the past. I have only one demand: self-rule and genuine autonomy for all Tibetans, that is, the Tibetan nationality in its entirety. This demand is in keeping with the provisions of the Chinese constitution, which means it can be met. It is a legitimate, just, and reasonable demand that reflects the aspirations of Tibetans both in and outside Tibet. This demand is based on the logic of seeing future as more important than the past. It is based on the ground realities of the present and the interests of the future. The long history of the past does not lend itself to a simple black and white interpretation. As such, it is not easy to derive a solution from the past history. This being the case, I have stated time and again that I do not wish to seek Tibet's separation from China, but that I will seek its future within the framework of the Chinese constitution. Anyone who has heard this statement would realize, unless his or her view of reality is clouded by suspicion, that my demand for genuine self-rule does not amount to a demand of separation. The convergence of this fact with the gradual progressive freedom, openness, and media will create conditions, I hope, for resolving Sino-Tibetan problem through negotiations. Therefore, I am making every effort to perpetuate the present context and thus create a conducive atmosphere. the Kashak of the Central Tibetan administration has made a number of appeals to Tibetans and our international supporters to work toward the creation of a conducive environment for negotiations. Today, I would like to emphasize that we leave no stone unturned to help the present process of dialogue for the resolution of Sino-Tibetan problem. I urge all Tibetans to take note of this on the basis of the Kashak's appeal. I make the same request to Tibet supporters and those sympathetic to the Tibetan people. By the same token, I would like to tell the People's Republic of China that if it sees benefit in sincerely pursuing dialogue through the present contact, it must make clear gesture to this effect. I urge the Chinese leadership to give a serious thought to this. A positive atmosphere cannot be created by one side alone. As an ancient Tibetan saying goes, one hand is not enough to create the sound of a clap. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation and gratitude to the international community for their consistent support to us. I would also like to express once again the Tibetan people's appreciation and immense gratitude to the people and the government of India for their unwavering and unparalleled generosity and support to us. With my thoughts on the situation and feelings of the Tibetans inside Tibet, I pray for all of them. I also pray for the well-being of all sentient beings, the Dalai Lama. Thank you. Yes, I would like to make a little announcement about why, representative could not present today, because he's having a very important meeting at this hour, so he could not come, and he apologized for that. Thank you.
Liebe die Geschichtsaufarbeitung der Volksrepublik China. Die Zensur zeige deutlich, wie versucht werde, hohe Mauern für freie Information aufrechtzuerhalten. Zu dieser Informationssperre gehört auch eine realistische Beurteilung Maos. Dazu zitiere ich einen Satz aus diesem Artikel. Nichts kann letztlich an der Erkenntnis vorbeiführen, dass im Mausoleum auf dem Tiananmen-Platz ein Massenmörder von der Art Hitlers und Stalins ruht. Zitat Ende. Dieser Mao, von dem hier die Rede ist, hat auch die blutige Niederschlagung des tibetischen Volksaufstandes von 1959 und die widerrechtliche Besetzung Tibets zu verantworten. Und seither sind seit fast 50 Jahren leidet das tibetische Volk unter dem Aggressor China. Über 1,2 Millionen Tibeter und Tibeterinnen sind an den Folgen von Folter, Hunger und Terror ums Leben gekommen. Die Unterdrückung des tibetischen Volkes und seines Wunsches nach politischer, kultureller und religiöser Selbstbestimmung hat in den letzten Jahren gar wieder zugenommen. Vertreibungen auf Klöstern, politische Umerziehungskampagnen, Verhaftungen, Folter werden mit aller Härte fortgesetzt. Wir fordern deshalb die chinesische Regierung, Ministerpräsident Hu Jintao auf, diese Unterdrückung zu beenden und endlich die eigene grausame Geschichte aufzuarbeiten. Die Zensur muss aufgehoben werden und der chinesischen Bevölkerung soll die Wahrheit über Tibet nicht länger vorenthalten werden. Die Unterstützung, die Tibet damit erfährt, ist eine deutliche Aufforderung auch an unseren Bundesrat, die Tibet-Frage endlich offensiv anzugehen und die Rechte des tibetischen Volkes nachdrücklich bei allen Kontakten mit den chinesischen Behörden zu unterstützen. Der Wunsch, der unser Bundesrat hat, nach immer besseren Wirtschaftskontakten mit China, ist verständlich. Doch unser Bundesrat muss eine Grenze finden, wo die grundlegenden Rechte eines anderen Volkes, nämlich der Tibeter, verletzt werden. Kein Feind Chinas, sondern eben man will die Schwächeren unterstützen. Hier vor der UNO fordern wir auch von der UNO erneut den Tatbeweis, dass die Staatengemeinschaft die Menschenrechte umsetzt. Die nächste Gelegenheit dazu bietet sich anlässlich der UNO-Menschenrechtskonferenz, welche ja am nächsten Montag beginnen. Leider machen die USA viele Querelen und es steht im Moment nicht so gut. Es ist aber vorgesehen, dass Bundesrätin Calmire am Dienstag vor der Versammlung eine Ansprache halten wird. Und wir appellieren heute schon an Frau Calmire, dass sie dort die Einhaltung der Menschenrechte für das tibetische Volk unmissverständlich einfordert. Die UNO soll den Dialog zwischen China und der Exilregierung in Gang bringen. Schlussendlich rufen wir die Volksrepublik China auf, den Vorschlag des mittleren Weges des Dalai Lama, nämlich die Einhaltung der Menschenrechte, jetzt endlich nutzen.
Tag des tibetischen Volksaufstandes gegen die unrechtmäßige Besetzung und Kolonialisierung Tibets. Als Vertreterin der tibetischen Frauenorganisation in der Schweiz möchte ich hier auch daran erinnern, dass 2 Tage nach dem 10. März 1959 der historische Aufstand der tibetischen Frauen gegen die chinesische Machthaber stattfand. Etwa 5000 unbewaffnete Frauen, Mütter und Großmütter marschierten damals durch die Straßen von Lhasa und forderten den Rückzug der chinesischen Truppen. Ohne große Mühe wurden diese Frauen überwältigt, umgebracht oder verhaftet und misshandelt. Diese völlig verdreht wird. Diese Zukunftslosigkeit für tibetische Kinder zwingt zahlreiche Tibeterinnen dazu, mit ihren Kindern zu fliehen, um sie in die Obhut der tibetischen Exilregierung in Nordindien zurückzulassen. Die Mütter kehren oft wieder alleine nach Tibet zur Familie zurück, damit sie nicht in den Verdacht einer Flucht kommen und ihre Angehörigen nicht leiden müssen. Die Nichteinhaltung der Menschenrechte in Tibet sind immer noch gravierend. Unsere Landsleute haben keine Möglichkeit, dies der Öffentlichkeit kundzutun. Deshalb ist es die Pflicht der Exil-Tibeter, diese Aufgabe im Namen unserer Landsleute zu übernehmen. Im Namen der tibetischen Frauenorganisation in der Schweiz möchten wir allen Marschteilnehmern ganz herzlich für ihren großen Einsatz und Bemühungen für die Sache Tibets danken. Sie haben einen großen Beitrag geleistet und die Situation. Vielen herzlichen Dank.
Mitten im Herzen Chinas, auf dem Tiananmen-Platz, ist er aufgestanden und er hat für kurze Zeit einen Banner aufgehalten. Dieser Banner sagte, auf diesem Banner stand: "Who? You can't stop us. Free Tibet." Diese Botschaft ging um die Welt und besonders wichtig auch nach Tibet. Die chinesische Gesellschaft verändert sich. Letztes Jahr nahmen rund 5 Millionen Chinesen an Demonstrationen teil gegen die Regierung der Volksrepublik China. Über 8 Millionen Chinesen sind aus der kommunistischen Partei ausgetreten. Diese Zahlen zeigen, dass die Partei ideologisch tot ist und ihre Glaubwürdigkeit nur noch auf der Unterdrückung des eigenen Volkes beruht. Es liegt nun an uns allen, durch unser Handeln, durch unser Engagement, diese Entwicklung innerhalb Chinas zu unterstützen. Lang lebe seine Heiligkeit, Free Tibet!
Vertretung des exhibischen Bewegungen der Samen im Oberspiel den da in dem Schied die Deutsche kam durch ne mal schöner Samsoni 치다운 마시고 순주 주제게 갸랍다 아니 가리가리 좋아디 슈모가 제디 가리스나 킹겐라 직 슈기잖아 순게다 비지 자게 된자디 또 통마 범죄디 주리네 멘버도 범죄지 이제 슈샤야래 니부디 벤 야산 능구라 아니 재미 순자라 니슈지 파티 퓨샤야래 아니 되네 디기 제라 지네바 그거가 드린데 제림지 진상에게 개체제 뭐 쉬나 섬선다 회사나 검주기 뜻이 아니 현동ning 좀 미시주셔랑 중요하네 근데 자사다 다가는 실롱구 나서 돈니 주리 네 아니 배파도 숨주 중요해 근데 주리 Ngati tabu Zürich chen, tine Orgau chen, Luzern chen, tine Bern kige. Tinsa, di kyanzi kena yawa, di lungu rei rei. Ngati rei rei le chokche mabu shugwa. Kyun domni kamana te, kilometer gyada sumju. Chunga. Tinsa, di ki bugab sini ngegi. Kanda, komchu, kangla komchu pege changwala. Ani ngegi, ning tabe tukjishi shugin karinsina, 이 할래 오늘 가고 좋아. 내가 그랬더니 소소게 류기 맞아와 진도 뭐지 되네. 백 직심축 제가 저니 그냥 딱 오늘 낭도 말이 이 주주봐도 아니 배 공부경 것도 와. 진짜 진짜기 센슈디 내가 믹서에서 진짜 코난조라 닝답을 두지 제시면 참을 찾으라고는. 아니 다가나 아니 그 농예 가다 진짜다. 대 파주 지금 두 랭고 망고 점벌리 디 대사과카 다로니카 니슈즈 참아도 니슈즈 파주 그러면 세다나도 디다 만다지 다가는시 불배 지소 남국이 세다나 대다 자자 대지 자게 수스게 수비 그래서 또 별이 미망기 자게 디나라 오늘 이 자게 조중다 서린 조중기 니 대배 니만 딱 말이시기 가리가리 중하다 다가는 시 퍼유나고 가와이나 배 세방 먹으지 좋니 아니 대 내기 데데스테브나 니버테버로 차서 아니 다가서 니다 내서 캐나야 와 그러나 디 콘트롤디기 조선디 가론내기 알딘자 조선 수수 있는 게 캐나야 와 딘자 조선디 단다 초과카기 시기 없이 경계 딘자 단다 분배 초과다 아니 다가는 시 유럽 주민 들어서거다 수비 들어서거다 아니 수스탈리 근처 드림이 많게 조선 난게 있겠나요 동조 벤 가사 라 니슈지 비와레 아니 다가는 시 디기 들라 가서래 디기 벤라 조두 마주고네 벤 소중의 야마한테 맨 난구라 범위 가로지 슈상 군안족이 우리나라는 바가 소자다 니무샬라지 꺄노 진짜 군안족의 닝타반이 두지주게 아니 자다드나스 점이 중답라 예수피야 예수디 내게 다 인지 달러로 마 로세게 아니 지 벽에 달러 내게 14 슈모제 개제제의 존이 마디시 점초시 Memorandum submitted to Hu Jintao, President of the People's Republic of China. In the name of all Tibetans living in Switzerland and in Liechtenstein, as well as the numerous supporters, we submit this memorandum to the government of the People's Republic of China. With this action, we remember and ask the world to take notice of the fact that before the unlawful annexation in 1951, by the People's Republic of China, Tibet was an independent country. Thus, in 1951, though nearly everybody's dismay, Tibet was forcibly integrated on the basis of the so-called 17 points agreement into the People's Republic of China. The Tibetan government representatives at that time were by no means free in taking their decision to sign this agreement and were put under immense pressure by the Chinese government to do so. The agreement was signed and harshly certified with a seal that was specially manufactured in Beijing because the official seal of the Tibetan government was not made available to the Chinese authorities. For 9 years, His Holiness the Dalai Lama had endeavored to find a peaceful solution for the problem of the Chinese occupation of Tibet, a problem which had been created by a powerful Chinese military force and which had put into grave jeopardy the survival of Tibetan people and the nation. These 9 years were a time of hardship, misery for the world of the people of Tibet. Their suffering reached so far unknown heights. It became more and more apparent that even the security of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, could no longer, which demanded the lives of many brave men and women. But the struggle shall continue until truth and justice will emerge victorious. The 10th March is therefore a day of commemoration for us, and where we honor the courageous men and women who gave their lives willingly in the quest of creating a great Tibet. Its citizens. Every year on this day of March 10, the people of Tibet protest in front of the Chinese embassies in Europe, the United States, Bhutan, Nepal and India. There we remember and honor those of our compatriots who had fought now for 47 years against the Chinese military occupation of our country. We shall continue our peaceful and non-violent struggle until we can engage in a constructive dialogue with the Chinese government in order to find an acceptable solution which will be acceptable for all the parties involved. We condemn rigorously the actual policy of the ruthless suppression by the Chinese government of the Tibetan language, culture, religion in our country. Without exception, the monasteries and schools in their daily life are totally controlled and dominated by the Chinese authorities. They, the Chinese, endeavor to make their culture the dominant of one in our country. This is nothing more than an inhuman process of forcibly transforming our people into Chinese and therefore aiming at totally eradicating the cultural heritage of Tibet. The age limit of 18 years for the entry into a monastery and arbitrary limitation of the number of practicing monks are a manifest and evident example of the oppressive Chinese occupation policies. We demand that the People's Republic of China should immediately abolish these type of oppressive measures. For many years now, the 11th Panchen Lama has held prisoner at an unknown location in China. We therefore are concerned about the fate of Tenzin Delek Rinpoche, who has now been imprisoned for 2 years on a trumped-up charges which no truly democratic states of honors the rule of law could and would take seriously. We are asking particularly for the liberation of those two and generally for the granting of freedom for all Tibetan political prisoners. We urge the Chinese authorities to stop all so-called economic development projects in Tibet. The Chinese want to marginalize the Tibetan people and aim to create an infrastructure which only serves their interests and that the Chinese segment of the population. We condemn especially the construction of the railway line from Goldman to Lhasa. A project has very negative consequences for the Tibetan people living in that region and furthermore the whole of Tibet. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has proposed for many years that the question of Tibet should be solved on the negotiation table. This proposal of a middle way deserves serious consideration by the Chinese authorities because it offers a real chance for a peaceful solution to the problem in question. 5 delegations of the government in exile of Tibet have gone to China, Tibet and Bern in order to lay foundation for a substantial dialogue between the Tibetan people and China. We ask the Chinese government to undertake further positive steps in promoting an atmosphere of the deterrent and understanding between the people and population of Tibet. The government in exile of Tibet has also created a special task force in order to accelerate the dialogue between the representatives of China and Tibet. We are more than convinced that such a dialogue can provide the essential negotiation framework which will in turn permit the working out of a mutually beneficial solution to the Tibetan question. Long may live His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Long may live the people of Tibet. 이 민족이 바가 지개미 중상 이주 표현들. 아니 되네. 지네바게 재림 콜라 시무가 제 차도 담아 시야래 미망고지 대표도 아니 대 믹스에 지 투지 사실 쉬기죠. 립배잖아. 본주 패드 아니 밴 조준 찍고 멤버체 조준 폴크지 돈에다 아니 kontrol 배경기 소면기 로선디 폴크지 조준에나 투지체 쉬기 차차라 다가는 신 kontrol 배경조 웨든스웰 조준기 체마도 바스 채우질래나니 프랑스기 지 파가 좀이디 이 갈라 kontrol 배경 상마 프랑스 바스 조선 현대나 투지체나 쉬기 지 소박하게 조선단어디 되게 쉬운 프랑스 참아 다시 내려다 투지체 쉬기 찍다 아니 드림 대 아니 제 렉처 순샤나게 아니 토마 마담 로드 페나스코 니라 투지체 아니 파살라 차다지나로나 I contact to Regis de Batista, President of the Comité Soutien and La Porte de Tibet, and also the 10th March anniversary, and I hope that we will continue on this basis. Thank you very much. And also one kata to Valerie Sweet, root concept la Tujiche, Shugi, our concept on root concept, Presidentin der Geneva, Susan. Pece 저거기 차로 간지도네 랭구 고색교버디 비약원나서 아니 로송다 냠루도는 단계야 된다 대나버도 나가는지 못 되는 나기지 근데 아니 개치쇼 찍 얘기 아마 아니 그래 신들 좋으나 드림남시 교우 시우제구나 아니 가랑 가서래 루 수수 류기 니바 조디 니 차버리지 오늘 이랑서 내 민망고 15배 아니 다 비공에 맞아봐 사파산지 개버라 아니 이랑서 내 페바디 지지 체벌에 예 구샵 체병 안에 투지 제수게 진호 거석 개미제 부죠 기술 도지 감수 땡지 현유도 받다 회된 된다 요에 민주주의 조심 Tschüss.